Recently, I went through a very long reading dry spell. I think most people who read a lot of books have experienced something similar. For some inexplicable reason, nothing that you read appeals to you. You try book after book, genre after genre, trying to find something to reignite the spark of your love for reading. In my case, the dry spell was something like 6 months long. I read some manga here and there, but I was basically just going through the motions of reading. I DNF'd so many books in that time period, and the books that I didn't DNF took forever to finish. Then, one day, on a whim, I tried Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. This was a series that I had scrolled past in my e-reader app numerous times, since my app puts numbers ahead of letters in the alphabet, so it was right at the beginning. Just based on the cover, it didn't look like my kind of book, but maybe, I thought, a book that wasn't my kind of book was exactly what I needed to break out of my reading funk. Friends, let me tell you, I loved this book. I read the first volume in 2 days. Now, this is a romance novel with a reincarnation twist. We'll get into all that in a minute. But the thing I want to discuss first is the language. See, light novels are pretty much by definition easy to read. But occasionally that leads to shoddy or lackluster translations. You can look at the first few volumes of No Game, No Life if you want a good example of bad prose. Seventh Time Loop is not only easy to read, it's also well written and well translated. The language flows without being dumbed down. It's lovely, without being too flowery. And there's never those jarring moments of poor writing or translation that I sometimes get with other light novels. On this point alone, Seventh Time Loop would be an easy recommendation. The basic plot here is that Riche is a daughter of some nobility in a small country. She is engaged to be married to the crown prince of that nation, but he falsely accuses her of all sorts of things and breaks off the engagement. She flees the country and spends the next 5 years learning to be a merchant before dying in a war, whereupon she finds herself reincarnated at the exact moment that the crown prince breaks the engagement. She does this for a total of 6 loops, learning different trades and skills in each loop until the current 7th time loop. She retains all of her skills and knowledge from previous loops, which gives her a pretty varied skill set, including things like alchemy and combat. She also has a broad knowledge of future world events. She knows a major war is coming, but not why it started. Each of her deaths in past lives has been a result of that war. In her 6th loop, in fact, she disguised herself as a man and lived as a knight, dying at the hands of one of the main antagonists of the war, Prince Arnold. You probably see where this is going. At the start of her 7th loop, she begins making preparations for a carefree life when, lo and behold, she runs into Prince Arnold, the very man who killed her in her previous life, who promptly asks her to marry him, making her an offer she can't refuse. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory for any more of the plot, but I will say that the story was excellent, and my synopsis of the beginning does not do it justice. Beyond that, the characters are incredible. Riche, Prince Arnold, and even the many side characters are all wonderfully realized, and just a joy to read about. And while one could argue that Riche falls into the realm of the Mary Sue, the vast amount of skills and knowledge that she has gained in her previous life lends a reason for her being able to skillfully navigate so many of the situations she finds herself in. And each book, I'm currently reading book 4, explores different aspects of her previous lives, connecting them to characters in her current life. I guess my point here is twofold. 1, you really should give Seventh Time Loop a try. It's well written, it's got a decent story, and if you like it, there are several volumes currently available. 2, if you're ever in a reading slump like I was, maybe read something from a genre you don't typically read. Seventh Time Loop is a light novel, yes, but it's a romance light novel. I mean, look at the cover. This just screams shoujo to me. But it was good, it was fun, and it got me out of my slump. Now I'm back to reading again, and back to making YouTube videos too. If you've made it this far into the video, I think I earned your like, and maybe your subscription. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.